How do you measure the quality of leads? In this episode, we're going to be talking about where high quality leads come from and where low quality leads come from. We're going to be looking at the campaigns that most people do that actually generate low quality leads, but we're going to also be looking at an alternative. What can you do to really increase the quality of leads? And then we'll be looking at those leads and discuss what determines the quality of a lead. How do you know if a lead is good or not? And once you know what a good lead is, how can you increase those leads, or how can you increase referral quality leads coming into your business? In my world of YouTube, we leverage YouTube for lead generation. And so we can look at the number of views that a video has and compare that to the number of leads or email opt-ins that we have on our email list. So let's say we get 100 views and that generates 10 email opt-ins. That's actually a pretty good average, but that's an average that we have seen when you implement the strategy we're going to talk about here. Or if you had 10,000 views and generated 2 email opt-ins, that would be a pretty low lead capture rate. Another thing that you can look at in checking the quality of your leads, of all the people that have joined your email list, how many of them actually schedule a conversation with you? So if you have 100 different new people subscribed to your email list, so if you only have 1 new appointment from that, or compare that to 30 different appointments that you have just from those 100 leads, the higher your conversion rates in those areas would tell me that these are better leads. But ultimately, when you have these conversations and you look at the conversion rate, if you have 3 conversations, does that turn into 1 client? Or do you need to have 10 conversations to turn into 1 new client? So looking at metrics like that is one of the easiest and best ways to determine the quality of leads. But you can also look at where are the leads coming from? How are you generating the leads? And there's big differences that you can make that will really increase the numbers on the back end. And one other thing that I had on my notes that I wanted to mention is when you have that conversation and you make a sale, what's the average price point of that sale? So if you're on average making a sale that's $200, but from a different lead source, you're on average making a sale that's $2,000, you can look at the one that's higher sales as a higher lead quality. Okay, so now let's take a look over here. We're going to break things down between paid traffic and organic traffic, which there are pros and cons to both. So we're going to list out the pros and cons of both of these so that we can really look at when should you be using paid traffic and when can you count on organic traffic. All right, there are a lot of pros for paid advertising. First one is its immediate visibility. You start paying and your ads start appearing and you can really scale it. When you find something that's really working, you can just put more money into it and scale it up. You can do a targeted reach. Now, you have to fine tune this. This actually takes time. It can take several months to really hone in the targeting on paid advertising, but you do have the ability to target. Compare that to like a billboard on the freeway. Everyone that drives by is going to see the ad, whereas here you can target it. Now, a huge pro in my mind is that you can make fast iterations. So you can test things out, you can see what works and what doesn't work and tweak it and change it. And every single day you can make changes like this. And you can do split testing. So you can run 2 different things or 2 different ads at the same time, see which one performs better, take down the poor performer, leave up the high performer, so you can continue to improve with all these iterations that you're making. Now this allows you to fine tune your funnel. You can test your different landing pages, your different offers, your different price points. You can do all of this really quickly, and so in a short amount of time compared to organic, you can really create a fine-tuned funnel. And the stats, the data that you have is really clear. You can really understand your return on your investment. Okay, so the cons of paid traffic, the first one is the cost. You can spend a lot of money and you can burn through a lot of money without making any profit in the beginning. And eventually when you do get it working and you really scale it up, it's not unrealistic to have budgets that are hundreds of thousands of dollars every month. I've got many colleagues that they spend that much every single month just to keep their business running. Let's say they spend $400,000 in a month because they're bringing in $500,000 that month. Another con is that ads are temporary. You're not creating anything evergreen. You put an ad out there and it's only there while you're paying, and there's ad fatigue. That means that ads only have a certain lifespan. So you pay for this ad while it's working. Once it starts to decline, you've got to create a new ad and pay for that lifespan. So this can be complex, knowing what ads work and what funnels and all the intricacies of the target audience and how to get this going. There is a long learning curve. So that's a con. And the big con is the quality of the leads are very, very low. So you can scale it up. You can scale it up so you have a high quantity, but you're going to have a high quantity of low quality leads when you do paid advertising. Now let's look at organic marketing, okay? The pros of that are it's a lot more cost effective. Videos are evergreen. So you create something now, you launch it on YouTube, and it will be generating you leads for years and years to come, and it builds momentum. Because if you launch one video, now you have that marketing machine of a video out there, but you launch a second one, and a third one, and 10, and 20, and 30. Now all 30 of them are marketing and growing your business. Over a couple of years of following an organic strategy like this, you're gonna have so much momentum that you're not gonna need to do any paid advertising. It really, really does build momentum over time and continues to increase and increase. Another huge benefit of organic marketing is it really builds trust. You're working to build a relationship here with people who've never heard of you before. Whereas up here, you're getting paid traffic to an ad. They've never heard of you before, and instantly they're on the defense because they know that they're being sold to. With organic marketing, you're building a relationship first before they see any promo. And so the biggest reason we love organic marketing is because of the referral quality leads. Now let's talk about the cons of organic. The biggest one is time. Okay, it takes time to really build this. So if you start now with paid, you're going to get immediate visibility. With organic, it takes time. Now I'm going to show you some things where you can rank instantly on YouTube, but it's going to be a small trickle of traffic. And so it's going to take several months before that starts to build up and become significant. And it's also slow to get your return on your investment. Now, depending on how successful you are with your iterations and testing and tweaking, you can get a faster ROI here, and you can know your ROIs and be able to track the improvements. Over here, you can do the same thing, it just takes a lot longer, so it's a lot slower. I guess both of these are very, very similar in that it takes longer. You've got to have a longer time horizon for this to succeed. Now, targeting, I put a question mark there because a lot of people would look at organic and say, you're not able to target your audience as much. You're not really able to really segment and choose who these ads are being shown to. And while that is true, when you do organic right, you can hone in on who your target audience is, and that's what I'm going to show you in the rest of this episode. So I want to talk about lead generation and how it worked for Noelle Randall. So if you go to YouTube and you type in something like how to get business credit with poor personal credit, you'll see Noelle ranking at the top of YouTube for these. Now, how does this generate leads for her? Okay, so her story is, I met her right at the end of 2019. She had built her business to about $1 million in revenue in that previous year, selling a $5,000 coaching program to people who wanted to learn how to invest in Airbnb real estate. She was using paid traffic, and she really fine-tuned her funnel really well to build it to that amount of revenue. So she was paying for Facebook ads that went to her landing pages that encouraged a conversation, and she would have a conversation with people and she would sell them this coaching program, and that added up to about $1 million in revenue in the previous year. She then learned about my YouTube strategy, and in the beginning of 2020, we started launching 5 episodes a week on her YouTube channel. So of these 2 videos of hers that are ranking on the screen here, the top one was launched 4 years ago, and this video is still ranking at the top of YouTube. Now, in measuring the quality of leads, get this. When Noelle has 100 views from search, so people that are typing in questions like this and they find her that way, and YouTube tells you how people found your video, what percentage is from search, what percentage is from suggested or browse or external. So when Noelle has 100 views from search, that will typically generate 10 leads in her business. That'll be 10 new people that have joined her email list, and from those 10 people, that'll schedule 3 conversations with her. And of those 3 conversations, she'll have 1 new client, okay? And that's buying that $5,000 program. So 100 views can result in a $5,000 program. Now, after a year or so of us working together, she did an experiment and she increased her pricing to $10,000, and we didn't really see a drop off anywhere else. So now that same 100 leads turned into $10,000 of revenue. So here's the difference. We have a video at first that builds a relationship. We have organic videos that pull in people who've never heard of you before. You build a relationship, and then they see the promo video. And so that's what results in a high quality lead. I really want you to understand this strategy. So I've created a mini course. It's called the YouTube Lead Gen Blueprint. And for only $17, you can take this course and you can complete it in just a few hours. If you take the YouTube Lead Gen Blueprint, you're going to learn my 5-ingredient strategy. I'm going to take you behind the scenes with several of these channels so you know exactly what to do to tactically get these high quality leads for your business. If you want to know more about this mini course, go to youtubeleadgen.net. Again, it's only $17. I'll see you there.